What is up, YouTube? My name is Jay from CowFaic'd, and Pokemon Go. God damn, this app has done some really weird shit on the internet for the last couple of weeks, and I'm gonna talk about it. So, for those of you who don't know, what is Pokemon Go? First of all, what rock have you been living under? Jesus Christ, it's been all over the internet for like the last couple of weeks. This is not okay. If you don't know about Pokemon Go yet, this is not okay. But, for the three of you who don't know, Pokemon Go is this mobile phone app released by Niantic, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever, and licensed by Nintendo of their incredibly popular IP, Pokemon. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, I don't know, it's not that well known. But it's an ARG, that's an augmented reality game, where you use the GPS of your phone to walk around in the virtual world, and it's like a map of the real world, so you can actually walk around the neighborhood, and you use the camera and the touchscreen of your phone to find and catch Pokemon. Now, as soon as you reach level 5, you have to choose a team. There's 3 teams, Mystic, Valor, and Instinct. And you're supposed to capture and protect gyms with your caught Pokemon. And you capture those for your team. Now the immediate goal of the game is to capture as many of these gyms as possible in your neighborhood. So like you can take over an entire neighborhood with your team. Now I won't talk too much about the app itself because a video about that will be coming out on another channel in some time. Not by me, but by someone else. Won't be spoiling anything. But when it's out, I'll post the link in the description and you guys can go check it out. So what will I talk about? Of course, we all like to hear about it, herd mentality. People like to think following herd mentality makes them fit in. It's like people think popularity amongst peers is achieved just through having similar interests to the average of the people around them. Now some people want to be special snowflakes, they just want to go against the herd mentality because it makes them stand out, it puts them in the spotlight, and it just gives them a bit more attention than they usually get. A lot of people now actually hate Pokemon Go, simply because it's doing so well and so many people do like it, and I think that's a really bad thing. You can't hate something just because it exists, or just because other people like it. Like most people, like most normal people, would classify murder and rape as things they don't really like. In fact, most people will say they hate that, or they don't want to talk about it in the first place. But people who do like it aren't special snowflakes. They're what's classified as a psychopath. So if you don't like Pokemon Go, I'm not saying you're a psychopath, but you're in the same group as psychopaths, and I don't think you want to be in the same group as psychopaths. Now, before you say anything, I'm not saying you can't dislike Pokemon Go. If you dislike Pokemon Go, that's completely fine. But if you dislike it just because other people like it, that's just stupid. You can't dislike something just because other people like it. That's not a valid reason to dislike something. Now there's a lot of hate also going back and forth between the 3 teams in the game. And this is causing some other problems in the game as well, and also outside of the game. So I'm gonna talk you through some of that right now. Now the hate between these teams is actually really extreme. Like some people are actually trying to pick physical fights with members of other teams in the real world just because they're on another team. Like for example, a member of Team Valor or something could walk up to a little kid in the park and he'll see that he's in Team Mystic and he'll be like, oh, so you're in Team Mystic, huh? And they'll just try to beat him up or something, I don't know. Shit like that actually happens. Now it's almost come to the point where it's indistinguishable from gang wars. Like, as soon as one team has taken over an area, the other teams will do everything in their power to try and take them down and try to take over the area for themselves. They can do this in a manner of ways. They can do this in the app itself, but people have actually resorted to physical violence in the real world to take people's phones or something like that and to take over areas in that regard. That's possible, but I don't recommend it. It's kinda scummy. Now, remember, a lot of little kids play this game. Like, the usual fan base of Pokemon is children around the age of 8 to 12, maybe a little above that, maybe like a bigger range, something like that. Whether these children should or should not have permission to use the app, or even to have an expensive phone that can run the app, is debatable to say the least, but I'm not gonna go into that. What I want to talk about, and what I want to remind everyone of, is that the player base of Pokémon GO is very diverse. There's like 10-year-olds playing it, but there's also 20 and 20-plus-year-olds playing it. Now imagine one of those 10-year-olds just walking around the neighborhood with his phone and the Pokemon GO app is on and he's trying to catch, I don't know, fucking Oddish or something. And suddenly from around the corner a group of like 4 to 5 20-year-olds playing Pokemon GO approaches. They're from another team, they've just spotted a little kid, and what do you think is going to happen? What do you actually think is going to happen? Do you think they'll just walk around him or just walk away from him? Like, for example, the little kid is in Team Instinct, and Team Instinct currently has control over that neighborhood. What do you think those 20-something-year-olds will do to the little kid? Right, the kid is going to get beaten up. They may even take his phone, who knows? This is like the real danger behind using such an app in the real world. Now, I'm not knocking the idea behind Pokemon GO. In fact, I love it, because letting people go outside to actually catch Pokemon in real life, and like having them interact with the real world by doing so, that's just a fantastic idea. It's like almost the natural progression of the Pokemon series, alongside the death march of technology, because it's just going so fast. And that's great, but that doesn't mean the app is completely without dangers. So really, take this video as kind of a PSA. If you're letting your kid play Pokemon GO, pay attention to them while they're playing it, and if you really can't pay attention to them, don't let them play with the app. Because either you have your kid kicking and screaming for a couple of minutes because you took their phone and they're not allowed to play with the app on their own, or you have your kid in hospital because you let him or her go out and catch Pokemon together with all the other nice trainers. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about, guys. If you liked the video, leave a like, I really appreciate that, and I'll see you all on the next video. Take care, and see ya. Now before I leave, if you guys have any recommendations for some games I can play in the background of these videos, I'd really appreciate if you would tell me, because I really don't know what you guys want to see. Like, I can use Rogue Legacy again like in the last video, but I can also use games like Mirror's Edge like in this video. You guys tell me what you want to see and I'll make sure to pay attention. Alright, have a good one.